what does love have to do with it? So we started our bird's eye view of the healing life stepping stones. Today we're going to narrow our focus to one part of the healing roadmap, what we must do to heal. This, of course, is revealed by our story completely told about our pain, suffering, and illness, letting our bodies tell us what they need, activating our new story of healing, not making our bodies wrong, trusting our bodies to know, trusting them to guide us, listening carefully to their exquisite language about what they need to achieve their best equilibrium. The healing roadmap offers suggestions for what to do to heal, to address our pain, suffering, and illness, or desire to unleash our greater potential and well-being that is within us at the deepest, most sustainable root cause levels of healing, and grounded in powerful science and life school experience and wisdom. The most important part of this roadmap, the part that is largely in our own hands, which leads to healing 99+% of the time, remember, is the creation of core resilience and the practices that lead to core resilience, not rocket science-y, esoteric interventions offered by the realms of the experts. And first, we're present, right? And presence is so foundational to our healing that it is one of our foundational stepping stones for a healing life. Presence underpins everything else. It activates healing all on its own. And we have to practice presence, don't we? Because we're not taught to be our witnesses. We're too busy, most of us, living out our cultural imperative to hustle, strive, acquire accomplishments, and do everything perfectly, right? So we practice, we breathe, we stay curious, we observe. Presence is the thread that runs through all the other healing life stepping stones. That runs through our whole lives because we must be our witnesses, hold ourselves with compassion and safety, and rise in our strength and power to say yes to our body's assignment to heal. And we're practicing our presence right now as we let this sink in. Our healing is in our own hands. All the glorious power and potential is in us right now. We live and breathe this now in present time. And then what? Then we practice love. And what's love got to do with it? The healing roadmap? Our core resilience, that's 99% of our healing and our potential. Everything, really, everything, right? But what kind of love do I mean here? What is the love that I'm talking about in this particular setting? What kind of love supports our healing life? Well, all kinds do, truthfully. But what do we, most of us here, need to work on the most? How hard is it to love ourselves? Let that sink in. Me too. Because what is self-love? How does it show up for us? Like, I love myself enough to make me a priority, to schedule time for myself and what I need to do to support me, to put this first above all else. I love myself enough to know and trust that my strength, my energy, my vibrant presence, my healing supports you, supports all those I love, supports the entire world. Consider, how do you feel when you put yourself first? When you schedule your exercise, yoga class, meditation time, meal prep, gorgeous sleep and rest time before everything else? How do you feel when you say no? Say to the communal trough of food and drink that you know doesn't sustain you or support your healing. When you don't check your texts, phone messages, email, or social media notifications incessantly, but rather on your own time, the way you dictate to support your needs, maybe once or twice a day. How do you feel when you allow yourself total downtime at the end of the day or on weekends? Your precious time, protected and revered for the rest that's essential to your core resilience. How do you feel when you put yourself first in these ways? How do boundaries feel? How does saying no feel? You see what I'm getting at here? If you're like most of us, any and all of these things are challenging. Our urge is to please others, to protect our sense of value and belonging by doing what others expect of us, by putting their needs before our own. We may not even be aware of this as a motivation for how we behave. It's unconsciously operating. And it's powerful because our sense of value and belonging at some point in our lives were about survival. So this is the self-love I want to talk to you about. It gets tricky. This self-love is a verb. It's fierce when it needs to be, especially when we bump into trauma biology. It's resolute. It reveres us, our time, our energy, our creating our best selves, unleashing our potential as humans. And that's why we're here. That's why we care about healing at all. It's about our potential as humans. And deferring to others' needs all the time does not support what we're trying to do. It doesn't even make us good at what we give ourselves away for. So, love is the wind beneath the wings of how we reverently tend to our own needs, to support our growth, to support our healing and wholeness. And it takes energy. It takes guts. It takes fierce intention. It takes reckoning with the trauma-based emotions that hijack our best intentions to take care of ourselves. It takes our full conscious presence. And it takes powerful words to create and support our new story of our healing, our new story of self-love, and to deconstruct the disempowering story, the perhaps unconscious story that drives us to put ourselves dead last. Let's get to work on this right now. You have just a minute to sink into your body with me. Let's sink in right now, right here and now. So I want you to stand tall and proud, your feet against the floor. I want you to breathe deeply in and out and begin to sink into that beautiful body of yours that you love, that deserves your love. And place your hands firmly against your midsection, one hand over your heart, one over your solar plexus that's just beneath the bottom of your rib cage. Press firmly and let yourself connect to this part of your body, your gorgeous heart and powerful core. This is the strength of who you are. So let's breathe deeply together. Deep breaths in, maybe hold it just a bit at the top. Slow, deep breath out, sinking more deeply into our bodies. Continue to breathe deeply and consciously. And as you hold this space for yourself, let these words wash over you. Standing here in the strength of my heart and core, I breathe and settle. breathe, and settle. I accept my body's assignment to heal. This assignment calls me to become my most beloved, my champion, my protector, my wise guide. This assignment calls me to reckon with the past that somehow taught me to deny my needs in favor of all others. That led me to deny my own inherent glorious preciousness. So yes, I accept my body's assignment to heal. I honor and release the past. I pay tribute to the stories and ways I adopted that kept me alive, even as I awaken to how they no longer serve me as an adult, as my own witness. I say thanks to how staying small kept me alive, but is no longer acceptable. Now, in present time, I call back my gorgeous spirit. I reclaim the truth of my lovability. I shine my light once again. I lead myself on a journey that is my life, consciously, gratefully, tenaciously honoring myself and giving myself what I need in love. Amen. Okay, so that's our practice. And I have an assignment for you to work on before we meet again. I want you to write yourself a permission slip. Give yourself permission to support your healing with self-love, keeping in mind that all the ways that love is a verb, it's in what you do. Okay, to honor yourself, to put your needs first, to set those clear boundaries, to release those old stories that hold you back. I want you to write down the 3 top healing action steps that you know you need, but perhaps have had trouble prioritizing. Just 3. And if that's too much, just do 1. Remember that not having enough time is always a story. It's a story about what your priorities are. So maybe think about the things you feel that you haven't had enough time for, but know that you need. Okay? And I give you permission to write these now and to practice them every day. And I'll give you an example of a short one that I wrote for myself. Okay. Dear Karen, I give you my full permission to be your whole, true, authentic self. I give you permission to fully accept your body's assignment to heal and all that entails. I give you my whole permission to love yourself, to release the past, to release all worry about the future, to drop all comparisons to how others are doing it, and to be here now as your greatest champion in present time. And my 3 self-love action steps for today are: when your body, mind says, let's take a break, sit your ass down. That's my first one. Take a long leisurely walk with the dogs at your favorite time, even though that might be when the family is getting restless for dinner. Do it anyway. And here's a tough one. Pull that mystery novel out, the one you only read at bedtime. Take some really restful, juicy reading time this afternoon. Love, Karen. All right. You get to work on yours. Use your own words, or you feel free to borrow liberally from mine to get you started. Next time, we're going to be looking at our next core resilience domain, balance. How we continue to build our core of strength, and how to work with our mindset, our beliefs and stories to shift into a robust equilibrium of stress, resilience, and equanimity. And until then, I want you to stay well, be fierce, set strong intentions for what you want to do to create your future life and your future self. And I'm right here working with you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.